Welcome to Making Things with Chris DeHut. Obviously, I'm Chris DeHut. Today we're going to be talking about timers on the Raspberry Pi PICO. They're a very powerful device that you can use in your programs to set the timing of certain events. And this is what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about what timers are, what are they used for, the two types of timers available to us on the PICO. We'll take a look at the schematic view of a circuit that we're going to be using as our example, and then a breadboard view of that same circuit in the real world. We'll write a program example of a very simple blinker. Then we're going to show an example of 4 timers all running at the same time but at different frequencies. And then finally we'll wrap it up with another example showing both types of timers running at the same time. They work by setting the timer's repeat value or repetition value, and then it will trigger interrupt to go perform some action and then come back from that action and continue on with your program. You can also start something up in your main loop of your program and then tell a timer to turn that off after so many seconds or milliseconds. So timers are very, very useful, and they can unload a lot of work from your main loop of your program. Now, within the Raspberry Pi PICO and the MicroPython environment, you have essentially 2 types of timers that we can use. The periodic, which will run every so many seconds, trigger that interrupt, do something, and then come back. So many milliseconds later, or whatever your time duration is, execute something and come back. Those are very common, and think of it as like if you're using a LED, a blinker. Another type of timer is what's called the one-shot. And what that will do is it will just, after a period of time expires, your timer that you set, it will run an interrupt routine and perform some action, and then that's it. The timer is dead after that. And those are useful in many industrial situations. If you've ever been around industrial machinery, you'll see certain things turn on, run for a while, turn off. Good example would be maybe a lubrication pump. You turn it on, it'll run for maybe 10-15 seconds, and then it's turned off. Sometimes you need those periodic, sometimes it's one shot. But all over industry and in the applications that we write, timers are just very useful in their 2 forms that we have available to us. Now let's take a look at the fritzing view of our wiring diagram. We've got a Raspberry Pi PICO, and that will be powered and communicated with through its USB port. This pin here is a ground pin. That's going to go to the ground rail of our breadboard. And let's go back to the other side of the circuit. We're going to connect these 4 pins to 4 LEDs. And just to make it simple, we got a blue wire going to a blue LED, red wire to red LED, and so forth. Now, in the fritzing, what they show on the LED is this extra little jog in the leg. That's indicating the long lead, and that's always connected to the positive side. So we're going to be powering the LED from the pin of the PICO. Way to remember LEDs, long legs are always a positive attribute. On the other side, this side of the LED is the flat, and that's going to go to the ground, and we're going to do that through this 220 ohm resistor, which limits the current going into the LED so we don't burn it up. And then the circuit comes back to the ground pin over here. Now over here on the actual circuit that we're going to be using, got our PICO, our USB, our colored wires, our colored LEDs, our 220 ohm resistors, and our ground wire coming from the PICO to the ground rail. So it's exactly mimicking what we showed you in the fritzing diagram, and of course that will be available to you in the links below. Now let's take a look at our first example program. Some basic description above, let you know you should use 220 ohm resistors with your LEDs. and the information, of course, is on this YouTube video, and in the link to it's in the information below. We're going to load up 3 libraries: Machine, which you do for all pins; UTime, which is your MicroPython timer. From the machine file, we're going to import timer just to make it a little easier to write it out down below. We're going to create our handler. This is where, when the interrupt request triggers, this function's going to run. And it's a very simple function in this case. We're going to call it blue blinker. We're going to blink the blue LED. So the command blue.toggle toggles the state of that LED from on to off. So every time the timer executes its interrupt, it'll come up here, and if the LED's on, it'll turn it off. If it's off, it'll turn it on. Here we created the connection to the physical LED with machine.pin, and that was pin number 12, and that's GP pin 12, not physical pin 12, and we assign it as a machine.pin as an output. So that means we're going to output current and voltage to the LED. Now here is probably the most important thing to understand at this time. The periodic timer will run continuously. We start it and it just keeps running forever. The timer will run at a base of 1 millisecond. That's your base time frame. So a period of 1 would be 1 millisecond. A period of 500 would be a half of a second, or 500 milliseconds. A period of 1,000 would be 1 second, and 10,000 would be 10 seconds. So what we want to do is assign a timer to this blinker, or to the blue LED, all combined. So blue timer will equal timer. We're creating a timer object, and I want that period to be every 2 seconds, 2,000 milliseconds. And I want this timer to be of the type periodic, meaning it runs continuously. And every time that timer expires, before it resets itself, we will call back this function, blue blinker, right here, which, as mentioned earlier, simply toggles the state of the LED from on to off. Down here, we're going to just jump into what would typically be a main loop in a MicroPython program that's running on a microcontroller. I'm going to set up a little limitation to it, though, just so it doesn't run forever. I'm going to say the limit will currently equal 0, and then while that variable is less than or equal to 10, it's just going to keep running. So we're going to print limit, so I can kind of monitor it down below here. I'm going to increment that limit up 1, and then right here we're just going to sleep 1 second every time through this loop. So it'll run for 10 seconds. Now while this is running, notice I'm not doing anything with the blue blinker, the blue pin, nothing. That's all going to run automatically based on this command here. When this loop ends, we want to do our cleanup routine. So if we give it blue timer de-init, that's de-initialize it, and then turn off the LED to keep things tidy, because you may stop running the loop while the LED's on. So here we just make sure it's off so that everything's neat and tidy. So we'll go ahead and run that, and you'll see on the actual circuit board the LEDs flashing on for 2 seconds, off for 2 seconds, on for 2 seconds, off for 2 seconds, and it does that for a total duration of 10 seconds and then terminates. Very, very simply. So you could have that running the entire duration of your program, or you can turn it off at any time within your program by using this command. And then if you're doing that, you may want to specifically set a state of whatever this object is. In this case, our blue LED. Now in the MicroPython documentation, it'll explain some of these details. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of confusion or vagueness in some of them. And the most important one that I want to point out is this description right here. This is timers for the RP 2040 system, which is the Raspberry Pi PICO. It says it provides a microsecond time base and generates interrupts for it. The software timer is available currently, and that's why we're working on a millisecond time base. So we only have millisecond resolution. And you can use an unlimited number of these, well, memory permitting, of course. And then another confusing statement, there is no need to specify the timer ID, as it will default to this. So this is realistically telling us that there are hardware timers available on the Pico, but they're not implemented at this time, and I'm hoping that available currently is implying that at some point in the future they will give us the hardware timers to play with at a much higher resolution. And then here's an example of essentially what we did, but using a lambda instead of calling the external function. So if you like playing in this world, this is how you would do it using the lambda function. And I'll have a link to this document, and as well in this document elsewhere is the class timer hardware control timers, which is described somewhat generically in this area of the MicroPython documentation, covering all types of microcontrollers that MicroPython is used on. But this one is a good explanation of pretty much just what we covered in our first example program. Now, as I just mentioned in that documentation, we could have many timers running concurrently. So in this example, we're going to fire up 4 timers, all running at the same time concurrently, but at different frequencies. And we'll demonstrate that on our circuit board with the LEDs. Some of them will be blinking faster than others. The setup is exactly the same as our other demonstration program. We're going to set up 4 pins this time, 1 for each of the LEDs. And those will be 12, 13, 14, and 15 per our layout. We'll have 4 interrupt handlers, 1 for each color LED. And all they do is toggle that LED on or off. And then we're going to set the timers, the period for each timer, at a different frequency. In this case, the blue timer will be every 2 seconds. Red timer will be every second. Green timer will be a half a second. And the yellow timer will be a quarter of a second. So that'll start all the timers running. And as before, we'll let this, or set up a main loop for our program that'll just run for 10 seconds while we see this happening. And then, as before, we clean things up by de-initializing the timers and setting their state back to off. So let's take a look at that run. Now, isn't that handy to handle many different things within your program that you need to execute at a deterministic frequency repetitively? Just happens magically. You don't do anything in your main loop. So it's a wonderful tool in that regard alone. Now let's take a look at the one-shot example. And I got a good one for that. And we're going to look at it from, say, an industrial perspective. In my reference earlier to a pump that might only need to run for a period of time and then shut off. Here in the program, we're going to set things up as we would normally do. We'll import our libraries. We will set up our devices. In this case, we're going to have our blue LED. And then we're going to have a pump, which will be simulated by a red LED. So we've got our blue blinker, as we had before, and then we're going to have our pump off handler. And this will show you how you deal with the one-shot, or at least one way to deal with one-shot. Here, we're going to set up our blue timer, just as we did before, and that's running periodic every 2 seconds. It's going to change the state of the blue LED. Here's our main program loop. This time it's going to run for 20 seconds instead of just 10. And But when it gets to 10 seconds, what I want to do is start the pump running. So I'll set pump.value 1, meaning turn that pin on, which our red LED will come on. And then I want to start a one-shot timer that'll run for a period of 9 seconds. So this timer will start, run for 9 seconds, only one time, and then it's going to go to the callback routine of pump off, where it just simply says pump.value, turn it off. And then we go through, deinitialize our timers to make sure they're cleaned up, and then set the state of our LEDs back to nothing. So let's take a look at that run. See the blue going on and off. Now comes on the red. It'll stay on for 9 seconds. Blue comes back on because of its timer, and then they both go off because it exited the loop at 20 seconds. So as you can see, timers are very powerful devices to use in your programs. They can save you a lot of coding within your main loop trying to replicate the same thing. So take advantage of them. Take some time to learn about them. Many of the things that we mentioned in this video, including the programs, there's links to them down below in the description. If you haven't done so, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe, maybe even give me a like. That certainly helps secure our future existence here on YouTube. Without subscribers and the likes, YouTube kind of, the so-called algorithm kind of pushes you off to Never Never Land, and you can't survive. So I certainly hope you would express that appreciation that way, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.